Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks. Just yesterday, I made a video about cut order, and we have this in a pretty good cut order if we, I've got them grouped together, but it will save the gentleman a lot of time because it's laser movement. And his laser bed is 24 by 18. He's trying to get another sheet on there, I would think, because he had another sheet on there. What I would do, so these are exact copies. I've got this one in black just so we can see the difference. I've done a lot of work like this. My suggestion would be to grab all the red, hold down the shift key, and double click on your rectangle tool. Let's grow it by 102%. The reason for this is that you can now, and I would cut that last, you'll be able to take this and then take some 2-inch double-sided blue painter's tape and tape all your parts down all the way across. That way, when you pick them up out of your laser bed, they'll be together. Then you could flip it over and sand all these little parts without them moving. And I've got a couple of videos on sanding small parts. I believe I might send the link at the bottom of the video. But I would only cut out one at a time. And then you could basically delete this from the laser bed, or if you have an epilogue where you can use selection and you could select just the black. But so then you could be cutting this one out and you could be cutting this one out. While you're cutting this out, because this is going to take a while. You know, if it's 1/8-inch plywood, that's going to take quite a bit of work. I would not get it ready to be cut for the third one until the laser's running. And from your laser bed office, make you a duplicate of these parts. And then fit them. And we're also going to do the same thing with this, is hold down the shift key and double click on the rectangle tool. Let's just grow it by 101% to make sure they're not touching, and they're really close. But do the same thing there. So you actually have an outline to work with. Now we can, while the laser is running, and you should never leave your laser unattended, you could do exactly what we did yesterday in making you a cut order. You could grab these parts, put them in there, and you've got plenty of time to do something like this, and you could put them in here. Let me zoom in a little bit. And then even, maybe get all these parts and put them in there. See, you're getting the interior part. Then on these little spaces, you can move stuff like this around. Now let's move this, and you could probably fit that one in there by turning it 90 degrees and actually mirroring it. So you wouldn't have to do that, and you might not want to do that. It'll just barely fit in there, but you could make it fit by increasing, put this one right here a little closer to the line, and then you could move that one up just ever so slightly. This piece right here would probably, rotate it 90 degrees and put it there, or turn it upside down. We could grab that one. Let's just go ahead and just start. Well, I missed an interior part. You'd want that interior part. Might even be better to mirror that one sideways so they're butted up at each other. Then you could grab all these parts, and you might want to, at this time, change your nudge factor to something lower. And, without too much work, and I guarantee you could get this done by your time the laser is finished running that job. We're almost there. And you could mirror these so they'd fit closer together, and then move that one a little closer. We're almost done. These are little bitty parts where you could put them anywhere. And, there's another one of these. And I'm not taking a lot of time. You know, I'd rotate this one 90 degrees. But then we're going to put this in some sort of cut order. So there's another one we could rotate 90 degrees. And that's going to be the real reason for the video, is to show you how to make a new cut order. And see, there's plenty of room for stuff like that. I'm not even going to have to use all the room, I don't think, on the piece of wood, if your wood was as big as your laser bed. Now, those are some inner parts, so we need to, so I'm not even taking enough time to worry too much about placement. You could do, you could very easily do that. Let's move that one over. And see, by having that red line, you know it's going to fit. Well, and you could always move stuff like that up and over, and then have plenty of room for this. Now let's make a new cut order for this stuff. But what I want to do, I'm going to group that together, Control G, and I'm going to nudge it up. I'm going to Control G, and I'm going to nudge it up. Now, this is something I did not do in the video yesterday that you'd want to do. I want to group all this together, Control G. That's going to be real important. And then we're going to use the Smart Fill tool like we did yesterday. I'm going to set it on blue. I think I'll show it for the video the best. And just Smart Fill all these spots. Then we got that one little bitty skinny piece. And while you're doing that, you go, well, that one, whoop, that one. Well, remember, I got them grouped together. So we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to act like we moved it. And what I'm doing is I'm making a cut order. Now, remember back from yesterday, we want to do the interior parts first. So I'm just having it go across interior part, exterior part. Now that's going to have some engraving on it. And then we'd probably do that part, that part, that part, that part, that part. So we need to, I really messed that up right there. But let me just back up. Let's go ahead and ungroup this for a second. Now it's going to be hard to group it back, but there is a way around that too. So that's good. Now let's get back to the Smart Fill tool. Fill these in. See, fill the interior ones first so they won't fall out. And see, we're going somewhat in a cut order. Now these are individual parts. So you want to do the inside. Whoop. We don't want to do the inside first. And when I had it off the box, that's why it did it. Now, in just a second, we'll watch the cut order. And because I don't have them grouped anymore, it's going to be a little bit harder to get rid of the outline, but it can be done. So what I'm going to do is go find and replace. I'm going to go find, I wouldn't have to do this if I didn't have to ungroup it. I'm going to add query. I'm going to go to fills. Well, everything's checked. That doesn't make sense. Uncheck everything. Uniform fill. Uniform fill color. Get your eyedropper and get that blue. Say OK. Find all. And then nudge the blue. A lot of times you have to do it, but I'm going to Control G to group it. And nudge. Have to click off of it sometime. See, our hairlines are still there. So now I can delete this. Now I can left click, no fill, right click outline, nudge them right back, and let's look at our cut order. And you can check that by going to the window properties. We're going to go in and ungroup it now. And we're going to click on that was the first one we drew. I'm going to hit the tab key. Well, let's delete this. We've already cut these out. So it was going up there because those were in the order. So we're going to select that one, hit the tab key. Well, it actually jumped around. But still the cut order is good. It's going downstream, cutting all those parts, cutting the interior part, and then it's going to go cut those other ones. And that's the way it should be, because I created them first, so they were going to be the last to cut. And you could always bring these files back in. And by having a square cut out with the blue tape, a lot easier to sand. You know, if you wanted to, you could draw a line through here and cut these two pieces. Because sanding a full sheet, and I will find that video on how to sand small pieces and put a link to it at the bottom of the video. But that way, and I didn't even take my time to move everything around and get it tight, but that'll work. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.